Ho, ho, ho. Happy early Christmas. Welcome back, everyone, to Lost Legacies.
A Hidden City Book Company production.
There we go. I'm Matt.
And I'm Sam.
And today we're talking about, we're starting our Christmas movie watch through. With the Sister Swap movies. This is also the first Lost Legacies versus
What?
Sister Swap Hometown Holiday versus Sister Swap. What's it called?
Christmas in
Christmas
the City.
in the City. Yeah. So,
Wow.
not really, but first off, apologies. We didn't have any episodes last week. If you've been listening for a while, you would know that I've been having some audio issues and technical issues. And we went to try and film our final Baldur's Gate 3 game of the year. It just everything just crapped out like at once.
Yep.
So I'm like, all right, well, I gotta go shopping. So now we got new stuff. Hopefully it works better.
Just in time for Christmas.
Just in time for Christmas. So we didn't have an episode last week. So real quick, what did we miss? Anything important we're supposed to talk about that we didn't talk about last week?
I don't think so.
The Mighty Nine premiered.
Oh, that's right. And I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I still haven't caught up. I only watched the first episode. The Mighty Nine being the animated show from Critical Role, which is also a spin-off from The Legends of Vox Machina. Yeah, man, it's D&D, an animated series, but Vox Machina definitely feels like a D&D show, you know, but also being Critical Role. Mighty Nine really feels like, no, this is Critical Role. You know, from everything, just the style, the way it feels, the way the magic works. It's all these like little differences and changes that are really making it feel fresh.
Yeah.
So everyone go check that out. It's airing now and through December. You know, one episode a week. Let's see. Other than that, I had a bunch of stuff I was going to talk about, but I don't remember.
You gotta write it down.
I know. In the spirit of verses, though, I caught an episode today of a podcast called Song versus Song.
Okay.
And essentially, this podcast, they take like one song and they pit it against the other, and they critique it, and they talk about the artist's career and all that stuff. I was like,
interesting.
Okay, cool.
Now, just two completely different songs?
Well, I mean, it depends on the episode. So the one I listened to today, it's because Josh from Target Audience, the reaction channel I watch, he was invited. He's their guest.
Okay.
So the song that they brought to the show was Dancing. What's it called? Dancing on My Own from Robin.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Dancing on My Own?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. Versus the song that Josh brought was Run Away With Me, Carly Rae Jepsen.
Oh.
And it's really cool because, you know, and they discuss it, both Robin and Carly Rae Jepsen, I think are extremely underrated. A lot of people only know Robin from that one song, including me. That was my introduction to her. Carly Rae Jepsen, for the most part, like her music is like solid, but she's never really she never really got like a foothold in the industry the way like other artists her age did, you know, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was really cool. So, go check it out. I'll tell Sam afterwards. I won't spoil it for you, but Song versus Song podcast. I really liked it. I want to go back and check out some of their other episodes, you know, cause they get into the history of them and you can tell they both really liked both the artists and they were real champions of them. So it kind of sucked that they had to pick one song. But then when they do and they get critical about it, it's kind of cool. I don't know what they do for a living. I don't know if they're like music critics or what, but they're very knowledgeable and I like their takes on it. So
I'm gonna have to go check this out.
Yeah, and then as far as promoting other people's podcasts, that's all I got for today. um, I
Who else? Who else's podcast
who
can
has
we
a
promote
podcast?
right now? Yeah.
Well, for one, I'm gonna take the Santa hat off because it is hot.
It is hot, and yeah, unfortunately, the
Was that?
cool hasn't like gotten to us yet.
No,
We keep getting teased with it. I woke up this morning. Oh, it felt so good.
that feels
Felt
great in the
so good
morning.
outside. Yeah, and then
Feels great when it rains.
by 11:30, it's hot. You gotta take off your jackets.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, take off your hoodies. Yeah.
So let's see. As far as my notes goes, I think that's it. I think we're ready to discuss
Go into our verses.
yeah, it's versus Lost Legacies presents. I'm not going to say all of it again. Sister Swap versus Sister Swap. So I guess first off, background. Why are we doing this? This does not feel like a Lost Legacies episode.
Tell us, man.
Okay, so I have it pulled up right here. It all started with a tweet from Dan Harmon, creator of Community. I'm just going to read it straight from the Wikipedia because it sounds perfect.
Okay.
In December 2022, Dan Harmon posted on social media that he found both films to be the same film with much the same dialogue and scenes, but with different edits and some scenes shot from different angles. That's exactly why we watched it. We're like, what do you mean it's the same film, but just shot differently? I thought that was weird. However, it goes on to say lead actress Kimberly Williams Paisley, who plays Jennifer Swift. She responded that Hallmark had let the crew enact her sister, Ashley Williams' idea of two films that take place in the same time frame and sometimes overlap. The producer Neil Dodson, also explained that we had one editor and edited them in tandem. They share 9 scenes with different edits to those scenes that favor whichever sister's movie it is.
Okay. Yeah.
That's it. That's simple. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed because I was expecting it to be the same movie twice, but like just a different version of it.
Yeah. I was too.
Dan Harmon, you let me down.
Lay off the weed, man. lay off getting metatextual and
He just freaked out, man. He had a bad
peace
trip on
beyond
Christmas.
the veil. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, divorce will do that to you. And it's
What was he divorced? Was he getting divorced? What happened?
I mean, he has been divorced. I just don't know like at what point. But I'm just saying.
We're gonna blame divorce.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
No, but I mean, as soon as you start watching it, it's very clear what the two movies are. It's kind of like it's the 12 days before Christmas. One sister goes off back home to do one storyline. The other stays in the city, Salt Lake City, to go on her own adventure. So it's pretty obvious, like, okay, these are going to be two separate movies.
Yeah.
But as far as instead of being disappointed by not meeting our expectations
Of being super crazy and out there, and,
for a Hallmark movie of all things, what did you feel? How'd you like these?
Like solid. I don't watch Hallmark movies. Because I feel like one, obviously, like they've kind of gotten a bad rap, in like popular spaces, right? Like it's very into like hate on the Hallmark movies. And I do in a way feel that there is something that is a little like uncanny about the way these movies are shot or written, like how they're presented. But overall, even though it was very, what was the word? Saccharine. It was very saccharine. It's very overtly sweet, both of these movies. But I liked them. I really liked them. I had fun, and I'm like, you know what? These are the first Christmas movies that Kat and I watched for the season. So, yeah, it's like, honestly, like, I
I
didn't hate my time here.
I I mean, I think they're essentially exactly what you would expect from a Hallmark movie. You know,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
talk about all the tropes and cliches and how cheesy they are, and it hit all of those points.
Mhm. Especially hometown holiday. I'm
Well,
like,
yeah, and
this
that's
is just like this feels like cat said like this feels like a book. And I'm like,
mm,
yeah, it really does. It
mhm.
feels just very like, oh, we're hitting all the beats. We're using, we
Right,
got our signifiers for like chapter breaks and stuff. I'm like, yeah, this
yeah.
is fascinating.
I feel like watching it again because I don't watch Hallmark movies either. But I was like,
Hmm.
yeah, this movie really it has all of it. You know,
Hmm.
the overly stressed, overly worked businesswoman returns home to small town, has to solve some kind of problem,
Hmm.
ends up being thrust back into the life of the hunky guy uh she didn't used to date him in this one, but she did know him even better, even sexier. They were on the debate team against each other. No. They were on the debate team together, but
Yes.
they still were constantly like butting heads,
Clashing.
which
Yeah,
is even
bickering.
better.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I love this. Enemies to lovers. I love it.
Kind of.
That's my favorite genre. Yeah,
Yeah.
except the enemies grew up and became adults, and
And they,
and both widowers. How many? I need the
yeah,
prequel to this movie. What's the town called?
Hazelwood.
Hazelwood. I need the
Matt,
Hazelwood
how could you forget?
prequel.
They talked about it so much.
Oh, they say Hazelwood so much. They also talk about Uncle Dave a lot.
We ran a counter on like after the first like six times, we're like, we have to run a
We
counter
should
on
have been
Uncle
taking
Dave.
shots, man. I was like, dude, like,
We'd be dead 30 minutes in. We'd be plastered. We
well,
wouldn't
I
be
do
filming
notice
this.
they talk about Uncle Dave a lot less in the second one, or
Yes.
it's not that they talk about him less. They
No, they
actually
do.
say Uncle Dave less.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same way that everyone responds to everyone by their full name. Jennifer Swift,
Uh-huh.
you old so and so, So, which is funny because the second one is actually the one that features Uncle Dave. They actually gave Kevin Nealon something to do.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like,
which I'm fascinated about.
That's weird. Which we could talk about that because I do have thoughts on the actual plots of these. Like it's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
But, Uncle Dave threw me off. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, just saying how Hometown Holiday is basically the quintessential Hallmark holiday movie.
Yes, yes.
Oh yeah, and then I want the prequel because how come everyone's dead?
Yeah, Uncle
His
Dave's
wife
dead.
is dead. Her husband's dead. Uncle Dave is
Uh-huh.
dead. Did it
Uh-huh.
happen at the same time?
Yeah,
Was it a freak?
Was it a
ski
freak accident?
Yeah.
Freak ski accident. Was it a homicide? Like,
So
what was it?
here's the thing.
Okay.
They always have like the big tree lighting in these movies, right?
Yeah.
They had that here. The tree was a good size, but I felt like it was pretty small. I
Yeah.
think the tree used to be bigger, but something happened and it crushed a bunch of people. And those were the three people who died.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
it's like what happens after Final Destination. you know?
Yeah. And see, in my mind, when I think of tree lighting ceremony, unfortunately, my mind just goes straight to Batman Returns. And that
Oh,
tree, the
yeah.
tree in the middle of Gotham City is huge.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, that's disastrous as well. So I'm like, okay, yeah, tree lightings, just don't do them.
Just don't do it. Yeah.
Just flip the switch and there you go. You're fine. Like,
Yeah.
we don't need the whole town for this.
Yeah. So yeah, the Hometown Holiday felt just so much like a Hallmark movie. Now, from what I've been told and kind of the jokes that everyone makes, Christmas in the City, I felt like was completely different, but I wouldn't be surprised if someone said like, "Oh, it actually feels like this different genre of Hallmark movies." Cuz it's almost
Yeah.
everything flipped, Instead of like this overworked sister, it's the sister who's kind of just like going with the flow. She doesn't know what the next step in her life is, And instead of going home, she gets away. That's her story. She needs to get away from home. So she goes to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
city and she starts becoming overworked, you know.
Hmm.
But so it's like very two polar opposite stories that just interweave in and out.
Yeah,
Um, I kind of like Christmas in the City more
I do too.
because of that.
Yeah.
And so I watched them in two separate nights.
Hmm.
Uh,
So do we.
I watched Hometown Holiday first, just because Wikipedia said it aired like a week before the other
Yeah.
one, and I liked it. I was like, wow, okay, for everything it was, I absolutely loved it. I enjoyed the characters. Uh, you gotta get on board the train real quick and be like, hey, look, this is the way people talk in Hallmark movies, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like I don't want to say like it's bad. It's just like it's part of the genre, you know? Like everyone has
Yeah.
one-liners that are supposed to be very like advice giving and
Or
I
funny, but in like a not really
yeah.
funny way.
And we were talking about this earlier. I feel like you told me like people don't actually talk like this. And I said my retort was I think people do talk like this, but it's when they're trying to say something profound or when they're trying to say something
Yeah.
with the expectation that like you're gonna walk away feeling better by this, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And when it comes to not just Hallmark movies but Christmas movies, you know, I I feel like that's part of it. Some obviously do it better. You know,
Mhm.
you have the real fast, quick jabs you get in noir, and then you get the kind of cheesy, hokey one-liners in Hallmark Christmas movies. So, I mean, once you sit down and you know what you're getting into, it's fine. I loved it, you know.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like I feel safe. I know this is probably going to have a happy ending, so my stress level was very low, you know.
Yeah.
So,
True. That's true.
yeah. So, and I think
Yeah.
we talked about this a while back, but some psychologist was saying the reason why we a lot of people tend to watch their favorite shows over and over instead of starting a new one. It's like a sense of control. Like
Oh
we
yeah.
know
Yeah.
what happens. We know how it ends.
Yeah.
So we're not on edge just period as if we were watching a new show. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. They've
definitely my vibe here. I was just like, I know I'm in a safe space, you know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, like cuz that like that's linked to I want to say like anxiety and
Yeah.
depression. Like that's like part of where that study comes from. I remember years ago I ran into a customer at the previous bookstore that we worked at.
Hmm.
And he was always traveling, he was always in and out, like that was just part of his job, like he just was like going to different conferences all the time.
Hmm.
So he was always on the go. And every time he came in, he wanted to know where like our YA section is.
Mm.
And I was like, oh yeah, it's right over here. And like I was reading a lot more back then. So I would like, talk to him about like a couple series, like, oh, there's this new one coming out, blah blah blah. He'd be like, oh, order it for me. And I never really asked him like why YA, you
Hmm.
know? Because I'm just like, yeah, people like what they like. But then like a little while after, there was a study that came out that was kind of saying the same thing, that like more and more adults are moving towards YA, and that YA is actually more popular with adults
Yeah.
than at least like than for the demographic that it's for. And it's kind of because of that same thing. It's like um there's a sense of familiarity, but then at the same time there's also like there is less of a chance of truly like terrible things happening, like in like in certain books, and in other books
Yeah.
like adult sci-fi fantasy, like it's kind of hard, like you could have this great space opera or swords and sorcery kind of thing, and then, well, in next chapter someone's gonna get sexually assaulted,
Hmm.
um and yeah, like there was a shift into adults reading YA, because the chances of violent death or violent assault happening like were lessened. And for me, like, kind of to bring it back to to Sister Swap in the Hallmark
To
movies.
the
I'm like,
holidays.
yeah, yes, to the holidays. Yeah, like it's this thing where it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. Like I was really buffing against it. I was really like bucking it. We had to keep pausing to be like, oh my god, this is too much. Like this is too sweet. We paused maybe like 10 times in the first half hour. I was like, there's still
Yeah.
a whole other hour to go. I can't believe this. And then like by the time things got rolling, once we were
Yeah.
deep in the second act, I was like, we stopped pausing and I was just there. I
Yeah.
was laughing more. I'm like, no, I get it. Like there's
Yeah.
and even like 11, like we have 11 minutes before the finale and we just got a huge bomb that somebody is afraid to commit if this isn't going to be for real. And I'm
Right.
like, well, you got 11 minutes to solve this problem, buddy.
Right.
And I know that they will. So like the whole, like the stakes are low, but the reward is also kind of like, it's not high, but it's also, it's above average. And I'm
Sure.
like, okay, like
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. So, just on that note, I wonder what that YA study would say now, because like what you just described as YA has not been my experience with it, and a lot of
Yeah.
the people who I know read YA, well, who they're also like writing YA
Hmm.
because of how adult the content is, and
Yeah. Yeah. There's been a big shift in that as well.
yeah, so I'm just kind of curious to see like where's that line? Like what are the actual requirements or guidelines for writing something and publishing something under like a YA genre?
Hmm.
Is it just having the younger characters? Like I'm really curious because there's some dark stuff
Yeah.
in a lot of these books. But yeah, so as far as Hometown Holiday, so as you know, I say often, I usually watch stuff like late before bed. So like
Hmm.
took my shower, I got all comfy, I sat down, and I was in. The second they walk into the restaurant, I'm in. I am in. That
In Umber and
place,
Sprig.
yeah, with Umber and Sprig,
Yeah.
I loved it. I walked in. I was the camera, the cinematography held my hand and guided me through the doors to Umber
Hmm.
and Sprig.
Wow.
And I absolutely loved it. Umber plus Sprig. That's the title. But yeah, I was like, dude, that's awesome. I worked in a restaurant for one day and I quit. But I would work at Umber and Sprig. So
Wow.
yeah,
Well,
yes.
I mean that's also kind of the thing with like these Hallmark movies because it's like you walk into Umber and Sprig and you're just like, wow, this is so beautiful. It's so fascinating. They have regulars, and then
Oh, yeah.
also you go to like the mom and pop, literally owned by Jennifer Swift's mother and father, little bakery cafe
Yeah.
in Hazelwood,
Yeah.
and I'm like, how how much money are you guys making? Because this like it just feels so small. It's so
Yeah.
small and like I don't know.
Well, we do
I'm not
find
really,
out in the
yeah,
second one, they're only an hour away from Salt Lake.
yeah,
So I was like,
yeah.
oh, okay. I was thinking it was further. I'm like, okay, so it's not really out in the middle of nowhere, you know?
It's not in the
So
boonies, you
you're
know.
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So yeah, but then also the store where they're shopping for the ornaments, it is probably just a Hallmark store. Uh, yeah, that's good. That's good branding. Damn it, merchandise.
There you go.
Yeah, everything was super nice. It all looked out of a catalog or something like it looked like a store I'd go walk into at the Grove, and
Yeah,
everyone would
yeah.
look at me all weird, like, who's this brown guy?
It's so, yeah, truly. And it's so fascinating because like all the homes in Hazelwood are all like, wow, this is so picturesque, this is so small town, so quaint, but the inside is just full, like, just like you said, like right out of a catalog.
Yeah.
You know, when Jennifer like wakes up in her parents' house, I'm like the outside it looked nice. It was snowing, looks like
Yeah.
a little gingerbread, encased in snow, and then the inside I'm like, this is so modern. What, like, this is crazy. You go into the living room, it's a huge living room.
Hey man, everyone's into open concept these days. So
I get I
hate
guess.
it. I
Yeah.
hate it.
Yeah. Yeah, it has
So-
its place, but yeah.
not in home, not in my home.
Not in my hometown.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. It was probably like halfway through where like I really started to love it. You know, like I think after like the first screening fails, I don't know, something just shifts and things
Yeah.
start like kicking off more and more. I'm like, huh, this is cool. Like I that's kind of like my note. I wish they spent uh less time debating what to do with the theater and just get into it. Like
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
feel like that first failed screening should have happened like 25 30 minutes into the whole thing because it's
Yeah.
just like because that second half where that's really where like they stop the will they won't they and they actually start
Like
talking
committing. Yeah.
committing and talking about what was the guy's name? It was Jennifer Swift and Eric.
Mark. Is it Eric? Hang on.
Oh, hey, I have my notes right here.
Oh yeah, you have your notes right there.
Um, let's see. Main
Eric,
cast.
you're right.
Eric. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I love that. I love when they actually started discussing it, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, again, very Hallmark writing and dialogue, but it was more believable. You know, and I really
Yeah.
started to like it, especially their two characters who, like we mentioned earlier, they're both widows. You know, and I like it did kind of come out of nowhere, but then like there's one scene where Eric reveals like he's not sure if he's ready, and I was like, oh
Yeah.
dude, I was like, yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'm like, because to me that's real, you know.
Yeah.
That's very realistic, and I'm glad they added that. And most of the time you see it is usually from the female's perspective. You know, she's not ready to move on or take that next step. So the fact that they had this manly man, you know, be vulnerable with his feelings, I'm like, good on you. I don't know if that's a staple in Hallmark movies. Certainly not a staple in the stuff I watch. So it was nice
Yeah.
and refreshing.
Yeah.
And then he mentioned the daughter too. She needs stability, you know. Like,
Yeah.
and I was like,
yeah.
rad, okay.
Yeah.
So
Him
so
mentioning
yeah.
that and then him also clarifying. Like that's what I really like yes, that he acknowledges that he doesn't know if he's ready, but then also him clarifying that need for stability.
Right.
You know, like it's like he's willing to do it, but if this is something that's only going to be, like we'll have to,
Like he
do
knows
something.
the long
It's like,
distance just it's not gonna work.
Yeah,
at least not
yeah.
right now. So
yeah, and he's adult enough to admit that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I like this. I like this guy. That's my I like when these movies get real.
Yeah.
When they kind of drop the artifice, or like through the artifice, like they're able to say, it's my favorite line that Madsy has in Hometown Holiday. I love that movie. Everybody says exactly what they mean.
Right,
And I'm
exactly.
like, that's what these movies are. Like
Yeah.
everybody says exactly what they mean. And once you get on board, you're like, yeah. And because of that, it's scenes like that where they're able to just like, there's no screen anymore. Like we are just two adults standing here acknowledging that we've both lost people, and we're willing to take that step, but only if we're taking that step together.
Right,
And I,
right.
and I love that, I thought that
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. And same way, I found myself, I was enjoying the movie for sure, but there was a point where I was like, damn, I'm really loving this movie. And then I kind of just checked the time, 13 minutes left. I was like, oh no!
Oh,
One,
no.
it sucks because there's only 13 minutes left. Two, they have so much to do in 13 minutes. I was like, oh, jeez.
But the way these scenes are paced, I was never worried that they weren't going to address everything.
Dude, this was like Downton Abbey pacing, where it's just like, they're
scenes
just
are
talking.
like a minute tops.
Yeah,
you know?
walking and talking, sitting and talking, driving and talking, but like things are getting said. Why? Because this isn't lost. They're not all being wishy-washy, and no, like people are saying how they feel.
Is
And I was like,
Matt,
there you go.
Is this Is this what I've been looking for?
This is what you've been looking for,
This
Sam.
is what I've been looking for. All my complaints about all the shows we watch is just like if people would just stop BSing and just sit down and talk to each other. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I know we got this big thing to do, but
Yeah.
before that thing that you said, that was kind of mean and it hurt my feelings.
Mhm.
You know, like that's what I want. That's what I want from all my shows now.
But it fits this, and it fits the Hallmark.
No,
this
I know,
doesn't
I know.
fit Star Trek Discovery, which because this has been my number one complaint about Star Trek Discovery.
Mm,
Like people don't talk like this. You
Yeah.
know, you cannot put this in Star Trek Discovery. You have to be more subtle about it, more gentle with it. You know.
yeah.
Nowadays there's a lot more therapy talk because everyone's going to therapy and trying to work on themselves. So now in our society people
Okay.
are talking more and more like this, but still it's more like realistic, you know. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to go on another Star Trek tangent, but yeah. So Star Trek Discovery, Lost, Andor, basically what we're saying is they would all be better if they were more like Sister Swap.
There
There
That's
you go.
100% what
There
I'm
you
saying.
go.
Yeah.
Put that on the poster.
I want the Vel and Cinta hometown holiday romance, you know,
Yep.
with our
Yep.
two anarchist lesbians in space. You know, there you go.
Yeah.
See,
Census swap.
that's what there you go. That's what Disney needs to do now. They need to start making rom-coms set in Star Wars.
Oh, okay, so I don't want to go on a
Yeah.
whole other tangent here, but I am curious now because I'm like, okay,
Okay.
like what is the difference between Hallmark movies and like Lifetime movies, Christmas movies? Because
Oh, yeah.
they seem very similar. But I also want to see like, well, what about all the Netflix Christmas movies that have been coming out? Because
yeah,
there's
yeah.
been some big ones for sure.
Yeah.
But there's
yeah.
a lot more that are kind of lower budget like this. And now I'm kind of curious to see like the differences between them, you know. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. It's just on my mind. Kind of before we move on to the next movie, I'll just say that we kind of mentioned this earlier. Like, I was both annoyed but also fascinated by the character Simon, the son.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think the actor did the best with his dialogue, and he's one of those characters where like he's not a lead, but he's always there.
Yeah.
And it's like for some reason they decided to give this kid all of like the cheesiest lines, and like you couldn't spread that out amongst some of the more seasoned actors.
yeah.
like
yeah.
So yeah, no shade to that guy, but I just thought he was a weird character who just hangs out with everyone.
Yeah.
Like he just shows up with the guy from the restaurant, you know, and he shows up with these two random girls. I'm like, who the hell are they? I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
they're from the high school. I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah,
And I'm just
yeah.
like, it's so random, dude.
also like just how trusting everybody is in this small town that like
Yeah.
you know
They don't know who this guy is.
Eric's bringing Madsy first, which side tangent, the name Madsy is frustrating to me.
I know.
I'm like, just call her Maddie. Just call her Maddie.
Right,
Or
right.
Madison or something. Why Madsy?
Madsy,
Like,
that's so weird to
it's
say.
so weird. Yeah.
It's like you have to force it out, Madsy. Like,
yeah. I'm like, okay. Anyway, besides that, Eric's bringing his daughter around everywhere. They're at the Christmas thing, or in like the field where all the Christmas trees are, and then, oh, where's Simon? Like I want to go hang out with Simon, and then Jennifer Swift's dad is just like, why don't we go find him? And they go off together. I'm like,
Yeah.
who's this old man?
Yeah.
You know, who is this guy? Is this just how it is in small towns, or we're just like, oh, you know, I gotta run down the street really quick. Hey, I'm the guy. I'm the butcher from the butcher shop. I'm on my way to the butcher shop. I'll watch your daughter for you. Come on, little one. Like,
But it's always the small towns that fall apart when someone gets kidnapped.
Exactly.
And all the
Well,
secrets start getting spread.
well, it's because we're doing this teenage boy with a learner's permit who's really into film, you know,
Yeah.
suddenly becomes, you know, like the big brother figure to this little tiny girl and she's
Yeah.
pulling him everywhere, and they're running off together.
Come
Everywhere.
on,
I'm
Eric.
like,
You said it yourself. She needs stability.
she needs stability.
Right?
What's
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
This
funny.
is why small towns are rocked by things like that. You
Maybe
know?
we'll get that in the Hallmark mysteries. There's a lot
Mhm.
of those.
Sister
Dude,
stab.
Sister Stab. I want more Sister
Yeah.
Swap movies. I want to do it like a mystery one.
Hmm.
I want to do another do two sister because Sister Swap, but send them to like one goes to Paris and the other I don't know goes to Rome like Lizzie McGuire. But they both like
Yeah.
interact just like this one.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
yeah,
I can
these
see
movies
that.
they had to have made money, right? Let's make more.
Right?
So,
That's what I'm
so
saying.
I had to get the Hallmark Plus. I think that's what it's called. It's their streaming subscription, and I was
Yeah.
just kind of going through everything and checking it out. And then so I googled what are the best Hallmark Christmas movies, and they rank them all,
Oh wow.
or most of them. It was like 46 or whatever.
Okay.
Neither of these were on the list.
What?
Yeah, I know. So I'm like,
What?
so the bar must be really set.
I guess so.
Yeah.
So hang on a second. So you're saying that we watched lower tier Christmas movies?
I guess so. I don't know.
What must these other
So,
movies be?
yeah, I don't know. So maybe I have to check them out or check out some of the Hallmark mystery stuff.
I guess, yeah.
But yeah, a lot of them did take place like in another country. I was like, oh, okay, that's where the budget went.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
a lot of reoccurring actors. So what's her name? Kimberly?
Mhm.
Kimberly Wallace
Williams.
Paisley? Williams. Kimberly Williams Paisley. I think she's done a few, but Ashley Williams has done a lot of Hallmark.
I was going through her IMDb the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's done a
So-
lot more.
Which is interesting
And
that
she has one coming out like this week, I think.
Really?
The week that we're recording. Yeah.
so it's interesting that Kimberly Williams Paisley said that they let her sister Ashley Williams pursue her idea of doing two. I'm like, okay, so wait a minute. So does that mean this whole thing was Ashley Williams' idea? Or were they going to make Sister Swap just one movie? And then Ashley Williams said, hey, what if we do two movies instead? That's what I'm kind of curious about.
I'm curious about that mostly because, and this might be jumping the gun here, but mostly because my biggest issue with both of these movies is that I wish they were just together.
Dude, that's what
I
I was
wish
thinking.
they were just combined together.
I wish this was just one giant movie. Like,
Yeah.
they're each, what, an hour and a half? Maybe?
Yeah.
Like,
There's some stuff that you can cut. There's some stuff that you can rearrange.
Yeah.
But if you do that, you would have a solid like 145, 2 hour movie.
I think, I think easily 2 hours, maybe even like 2:15. Like, I'm just like,
Yeah.
this could have been one giant movie. How do we get this? How do we edit these together? How do I get my hands on this footage? No.
But
no, yeah, I completely
a
agree.
pirate's life for me.
And especially because like you don't really need to see both, but Christmas in the City really feels like the ending. Like in a big way, it feels like a sequel.
Yeah, well, yeah, and honestly, I'm gonna negate your previous statement. Hometown Holiday is the only one that works by itself. Christmas in the City doesn't.
I was gonna ask that. I wanted to know your thoughts on that, and I was wondering, like, how does someone feel if they watch this one first?
So yeah, I was confused, and honestly, I picked Hometown Holiday because it was the first one that popped up, and I was like,
Right.
okay, I'm gonna watch it. And then thankfully, I was like, oh, okay, good. Like, I guess this is the first one, you
Yeah.
know. And in my mind, I was still going on the belief, from like what Dan Harmon was saying, like, oh, like Christmas in the City is just the same movie. So I was like, oh, okay, like that'll be interesting to see how this side of it plays out. Starting Christmas in the City, there's no character introductions for anybody because all of that got taken care of in Hometown Holiday. So we're just immediately introduced uh um to like to Jennifer at the restaurant, you know, or like
Right.
we don't even see Umber and Sprig until, you know, Jennifer's like, you know, putting her hands over her sister's
Right.
eyes, you know, and moving her through the restaurant. That's scene 2 in the restaurant in Hometown Holiday,
It's
you
interesting because we
know?
actually meet Joe before we meet Jennifer or go to the
Yeah.
restaurant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. So like so there's all these little things where it's like I like where in the process of creating either of these movies did that idea happen where it was like,
Hmm.
oh, they're going to be two separate storylines, two separate movies. We're just going to film them at the same time it- because yeah, like it's there's hardly any character introduction in Christmas in the City,
Yeah.
you know?
I
And even as the movie goes on, it's like, oh, yeah, there's Simon and Jennifer. Like, well, who are they? I don't know who they are, but I do know who they are because I saw Hometown Holiday first.
I'm willing
You
to
know?
bet it's one movie, um, and it was Hometown Holiday. They probably had more involved for Meg, you know, her character.
Hmm.
But the main reason for that is because so much of it revolves around Uncle Dave and
Hmm.
the family stuff, and all of that is tied to the movie,
To
the
the
theater
theater.
in the
Yeah.
first one. So you can cut a lot of Christmas in the City and you won't really lose a lot.
Yeah.
However, I all that stuff you cut, that was some of my favorite stuff. So uh I after watching Hometown Holiday, I was like, man, this was cool. Okay, I'll watch the next one tomorrow. I was kind of bummed. I was like, man, this was so hallmarky, and it's in a small town. I
Yeah.
don't want to just watch another movie back in the city, you know.
Hmm.
And I like all these characters, and I love the parents, you know. Oh, and the dad played Joe in the Highlander series and Highlander Endgame.
I knew I
I was like,
recognized
oh, I was like,
him.
that's that dude. I was like, I recognized
Yeah.
him. So
Okay.
good to see that he's still working, you know.
Yeah.
One of the greatest movies of all time, Highlander
Highlander
Endgame.
Endgame. Yeah.
I say it ironically, but I do like that movie a lot.
When are we bringing that to the
Oh,
podcast?
jeez, yeah.
Hopefully next year.
Versus itself. So, but I did also like a lot of the people at the restaurant, which we really only see them in that first scene in Hometown Holiday.
Yeah, yeah,
So the
yeah.
fact that they actually uh, gave them stuff to do, you know,
Hmm.
I could see a world where this was just like Meg and Joe's movie, you know, and
Hmm.
everyone else is
Hmm.
just background. But no, I don't remember any of their names. But they gave all of them stuff to do, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that they have like the guy who ends up in a relationship with the I was gonna call it Tapas Man with Tapas Man. I don't remember his
I
name.
mean, but yeah,
Yeah,
technically,
yeah.
that's what he did. Yeah,
This must be pretty damn good tapas.
good
But
tapas. Yeah.
yeah, I like that. And then even like the girl, the cute girl who works there, she really has no story or anything, but she
Hmm.
was there for all the scenes, and then they gave her some dialogue, you know. And then
Hmm.
Frank, the guy who's the regular, they gave him a
Oh, yeah.
storyline, and I was like, dude, I like this.
My biggest complaint about or I'm sorry, about Christmas in the City, besides that I don't think it can stand on itself,
Uh,
is how like there are far fewer storylines going on. Like it's not as chaotic as Hometown Holiday.
right.
Because I feel like Hometown Holiday, every scene we're introducing a new thing. Whereas like Christmas in the City is very like streamlined. But there were like I feel like the emotional arcs weren't as high,
Well,
you
and
know,
this,
and that's especially true with Frank and his daughter.
I see. Yeah, it did feel kind of rushed.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they did take the time to do stuff, but like we were always watching it from the outsider's perspective because even the characters don't really know what was talked about at that table, you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah, that's true.
so I definitely understand what you're saying, but again, this is you're absolutely right. This really struggles to stand on its own because Hometown Holiday the themes and the story are interwoven,
Mhm.
whereas like the themes of this one and the story are separate. The
Yeah,
story
yeah.
is Meg trying to get this party going. You
Mhm.
know, the only ways it kind of ties in is she's thinking about what she's gonna do next. What's her next step? And
Yeah.
like, ooh, does this vibe or not with this maybe or maybe not relationship? But
Mhm.
the actual emotional arc and core is all the Uncle Dave stuff, which
Yeah.
is tied to the first movie. That's
Yeah.
why it makes it kind of difficult. Not difficult to watch, but like I don't know how I would feel if I had watched this one on its own first. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it plays out more like a mini series than it does two separate movies. You know,
Yeah.
these are two episodes. Watch Hometown Holiday first.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, or just edit them together. That's what I'm saying.
Or just and yeah, especially uh in both movies, at the end, they have Jen and Meg
Mm-hmm.
talking to each other about the future, about their plans, what are they going to do, and then what happens? They start talking over each other. They start finishing each other's sentences. They say the exact same thing at the exact same time. They have the idea, sister swap, and I'm like, oh, that's fantastic. That's great. Where is that movie? Where is the movie where it's the two sisters doing their whole thing
Yeah, yeah,
together? You
yeah,
know, I was like, yeah, because
yeah.
honestly, like I don't know. I get it. Like, you know, these are romances, you know, they're doing their own thing. You know, there are like tropes, there are beats they have to hit. But in my mind, I'm like, at the core of this movie, it's these two sisters who live these different lifestyles, who have their own, you know, like ways of thinking, ways of doing things, and they're both grieving the loss of a family member in different ways. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Meg, she's like, oh, I don't, or Jen, she's like, I don't want to see the theater go. You know, I know that it's hard, like for the family, but there's so much of Dave that's there, and like, it's like if we lose that, then we lose Dave. You know,
Mm.
and then for Meg, it's like we had, you know, we have this whole other relationship that we never really got to see, except in like the little flashbacks they did of them and how like, oh, like they would go to Paris together. They've
Yeah.
been on that journey together. I'm like, that's so cool. That's so great. And that's Jen's whole thing. Like, do I need to do this to say goodbye? Like,
Yeah.
what is that? And then slowly it kind of becomes like, it's the biggest thing about it is family, being together with family, and that's what Dave wants. That's how we honor him, you know. And yeah, I'm like, what if we just put the two together? They don't have to be separate movies.
I was
Just put them
honestly,
together.
I was thinking like, oh man, are they ballsy enough to have the theater close? Like,
That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
because I thought I mean that probably would have been, it would have been super emotional. I would have
Yeah.
tweaked the ending. You can't just have it close like that. Like, there would have to be some kind of victory there. Like, yeah, it still closes. It's gonna become a multiplex or whatever.
Mhm.
But Jennifer still decides to stay, and she's gonna open a restaurant there or something. You know, there still needs to be a victory in it, and because that was the whole theme. Like even the mom says, sometimes you gotta let things go. You know, to move forward. So the fact that they did it, I was like, oh, okay, whatever. But I really do like the idea of the movie theater restaurant.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of the catalyst of the real sister swap at the end, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I mean, it worked. It worked out. Can't
Yeah.
really complain about the ending, but I agree. Like, I wish we got that movie as well. I wish that was like the part 3. You know,
Yeah.
where we actually see them work on the restaurant. And, you know, this movie is all about sisters, but they're separated for most of it. They have a lot of
Yeah.
scenes together.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're real life sisters, so you could really feel the chemistry there. I would really like to see a movie where they're actually there together for most of it. You
Yeah.
know, I want to see that. I want to see unswapped. I don't know what you would call it. What's the opposite of swapped? Merged.
Merge. No.
Sister merged. No.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, I would like to see that. Because I enjoyed both of them, and both sisters are so different. Like, these movies were never repetitive. You know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch another one, and it's like, no, they feel so different, and the characters and their journeys feel so different.
It's like you were saying how like if Hometown Holiday is doing like like the the hometown Christmas, you know, very small, very rustic, you know, like very
Yeah,
snowy, like kind of perfect Christmas vibe, whereas Christmas in the City is doing the city version of that. It's like, oh, we're
yeah.
in this like kind of classy upscale restaurant. We're going ice skating, you know,
It's
we're
woke Hallmark.
no, Matthew. I was wondering if we were gonna make a joke
I was
about
gonna
that.
say because again, I don't know a lot of Hallmark stuff, so I was kind of surprised that they had these two openly gay guys. Oh, and I was waiting too. I'm like, are we gonna see them kiss, or is this just gonna always be like a holding hands thing? And they do.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, all right, good
Yeah,
on you, Hallmark.
more ballsy than Disney.
More ballsy than Disney. There you go. That
Uh-huh.
should be Hallmark. More ballsy than Disney.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
and it was very sweet. Like they weren't major characters in any way, you know.
Yeah, I
with
wasn't-
the exception that like he becomes
He kind of
head
saves
chef
the day,
of the
yeah.
restaurant. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, like it was nice that they are characters with goals and dreams, and they are allowed to
It
like
wasn't-
express that.
It wasn't overly done like in kind of like a preachy way, or just like, hey,
Or-
look at us, we're inclusive. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
no, they're just people and they're just characters who are there, and I'm glad. And also, like, I feel like Christmas in the City had more of the ensemble feel because all the restaurant people got stuff to do, and we even have the little side plot of the chef leaving because she gets this
Victoria.
opportunity.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's cool. Most of Holiday Hometown really followed Jennifer and Eric, and then like the family was mixed in and stuff. But this one really
Yeah.
felt like just more moving pieces, maybe. So
It like I feel like maybe just about the same amount of moving pieces, but they really slowed down and they were really focused on the things that they were working on.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
How like the food bank is such a huge part of
right,
Christmas in the City, and like and it's there, you know, like we
Yeah.
have the person running the food bank, you know, we have multiple scenes where like, hey, everybody's coming over together, why don't we have the party here, like wouldn't that be great? You know, Joe's gonna go off, you know, and work there at the end, and it really did feel Christmas in the City. I feel is almost a better film because of the way it's edited. Because I felt like
Yeah.
Hometown Holiday was very like boom, 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 very like you said, like Downton Abbey, walk and talk. You know, like
Yeah.
so much is conveyed in 30 seconds to a minute, and now we're in a new scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt so much less of that in Christmas in the City, and we were able to breathe. Everybody was allowed to like kind of sit here and take in the scene, and so just on that aspect alone, I'm like, okay, yeah, like this, I feel like this is kind of better.
And again, I feel like all of that stuff was probably added when they're like, hey, let's make two movies. You know, because you watch this and Christmas in the City, there's something going on with Uncle Dave's theater back home. That's like a B or C plot, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas when you watch Hometown Holiday, it's kind of just Meg goes off to help the restaurant, you know? And that's kind of all we really get from her side story throughout that movie. We don't hear anything about, the food bank. And that was kind of cool. That was a nice surprise. It added stakes, Like the stakes felt higher in that one because the stakes of Hometown Holiday was like, okay, that nostalgia, that are we going to lose this thing that we love, even though kind of the whole moral and theme is like, it's okay if we lose it. That's not really, we don't need that to love and to feel those things,
Yeah.
So the stakes were low, whereas this other one where it's just like the restaurant competition, it's a big deal, but like I don't really care about that. But as soon as you add the food bank into it, it's like, oh man, okay, they're really fighting for something. Also, I want to see that,
Yeah.
I want to see the food bank become, I forgot what they call it in the movie, but
store.
like the little store, yeah. You do that, you do the restaurant, you do the restaurant theater, and like that's part 3 right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. two sisters, two swapped. There you go.
Wow.
Produced by Vin Diesel. But yeah,
Yeah, because it's all about
family. We haven't even talked about Joe. I really like Joe a lot.
I really like Joe.
I love characters like that. He has a stick up his ass, but at the end of the day, like, he's a good guy.
Uh-huh.
And he's a good manager.
Yeah.
You know, they could have easily made him just a douche, and they didn't. You know, and so when you look at Jennifer and Eric, it's like the enemies to lovers that I was talking about, because they were at each other's throats in high school.
Yeah.
They were always debating and fighting, even though they're on the same team. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's nice. Whereas Meg and Joe is opposites attract, which is probably my second favorite romance trope.
Yeah.
Dude, and yeah, like I and at first too, I was wondering in the first movie, I'm like, is there something going on with Meg and Joe? Because they both show up to like the tree lighting together. I'm like, Joe, what are you doing here?
Yeah, me too. I was like, why is Joe here?
Is there something going on here?
I'm like, yeah, I'm clocking it.
And I'm like, okay, this is Hallmark. Do they do interracial relationships? I don't know.
That was my question.
So that's my question. I'm like, are they a thing or not? So then again, in part two, I was just like, all right, I like this. I like both their characters. They're both well done. Joe's never done in like an antagonistic way or anything. You really get like his side of things, the way he sees things. I'm like, I really like that. You know?
Yeah. Because I feel like in any other sort of, you know, like bigger budget Hollywood production, they would play it exactly like that.
Yeah.
Like the stick would be a little too far up Joe's ass.
Yeah.
And he would be a douche, and he would be mean, and he'd be saying mean things, and it's this very negging thing, you know?
Right.
And very antagonistic. And that's kind of why, you know, that's kind of why, like, I gave you a face when you're saying that, like, oh yeah, Jen and Eric are like enemies to lovers. I'm like, it's as enemies to lovers as Hallmark will allow. Just like,
sure.
I think Joe and Meg are kind of like, they're the grumpy sunshine, but the Hallmark version of the grumpy sunshine.
I mean, you could obviously go further, because one of the big tropes is like it's not Hallmark, but like You've Got Mail. You know, they're competing businesses, you know, and I think that's been done a lot in the Hallmark movies and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, just viewers, Sam and I do work in bookshops.
Oh,
multiple bookshops.
Yeah. If this is your first episode, thank you for watching.
We work in bookstores, but so there's a lot of, you know, YA stuff, but there's a lot of romance stuff that comes our way.
Huge section.
The romance genre in itself is blowing up, and so we're always catching that stuff, and we're always talking about the romances that are going on in the literary world. And that, I mean, I feel like that just matches so perfect with not just Hallmark movies, but like any romance flick, you know. But like my favorite tropes in films, in Hallmark films, in novels, romance novels, whatever, enemies to lovers is number one, and then number two is opposites attract, you know. And I'm like, yeah. So, and I agree, like, it really does feel like this, like, this could have been a book or like two books, you know?
Yeah.
This could have been a giant, like, this could have been like the Lonesome Dove of Hallmark. You know? We're going to do several of these movies, and then we start following other characters. There is one called, I think, Christmas in Evergreen.
Okay.
It's 4 or 5 movies. Different characters in each one, but it's all in the same town. And Ashley Williams is in the first one. And I'm kind of curious. I'm like, I wonder if any of the other characters cross over.
Oh, they have to.
You would think, right?
Yeah, if it's in the same town, then yeah.
The fact that Ashley Williams is only in the first one, I don't want to watch the rest, because I really loved her. I really loved her in this, you know? So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know where this was filmed. It might have been in Salt Lake or the surrounding areas, but everything, the small town looked beautiful. I feel like most of it, though, was just kind of generic small town. Like, we never actually got to see like a town square or anything like that.
Oh, for sure.
But most of it was like, the theater looked great, but also like those little fancy shops, you know.
Mhm,
But like
mhm.
all the Salt Lake City stuff, I'm like, was this actually in the city? Because like this looks great too. You know,
Mhm.
I love that little area where they're getting the food and they're
Yeah.
talking in that plaza was gorgeous. And
Mhm.
then like it's a museum, but I'm pretty sure it looked like a hotel from the outside where they end up having the party at the end.
Mhm.
I was like, oh wow,
Yeah, with that big art installation with
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
poinsettias.
I
Yeah.
thought that was cool. So
Yeah.
let's film it. Let's. I've talked about it in the past, and I have a rough outline of like a Hallmark movie I want to make.
Uh-huh.
It's done very kind of tongue in cheek. It's kind of spoofing Hallmark movies, but also
Yeah.
like not in a disrespecting way. Like I honor like the story and the arcs that you typically get. It's just
Yeah, yeah.
more like
Yeah.
maybe a little more punk rock, a little more me. But now after watching this, I'm like, hell yeah, maybe I should go revisit that screenplay.
Maybe you should.
Yeah, so
Maybe you
I've
should.
had some crazy thoughts just since we watched these two. I'm like, ooh, how would I
Oh
make
man.
my holiday movies?
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
all in all, man, this was blast. I had fun.
I had a lot of fun.
I had
I
a
didn't
lot.
think I was going to, but I
Same. I
had
had a lot
fun.
more fun than I was expecting. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
to everyone involved in the Sister Swap franchise, make more. We're ready for it. In fact, you
Mhm.
could say that we need it. We need it
Mm.
now more than ever.
Mhm. Mhm.
We need more Swifts.
Swifts?
More Swifts.
Sure.
I was gonna say Swifties, but I'm like, oh wait, nope.
Mm.
Don't want to cross streams here. We're already on the bad side.
Good.
Thanks, Sam.
Good. You're welcome.
Yeah. Listeners, I hope you checked out these movies. If not, we probably spoiled something out of
Yeah.
them.
Did we say that we were gonna watch these movies? We did. We did.
Well,
I
I mean, we
remember
did a
that.
while back, but we didn't do an episode last week, so we didn't really get to give people a heads up. So
Oh, that's true.
I guess we should have started the episode by saying, "Hey, go watch Sister Swapped before you get into this."
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah. So if not, if you still, we might have spoiled it, but you'll still enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, you watch the same Christmas movies every year anyway, so yeah, add these to the
Yeah.
rotation.
There you go.
I wonder if you could get these on Blu-ray.
Ooh, I wonder if they're in like a 2-pack.
I know. I wonder if there's a way to rip them and then I can edit them into one film. Hmm. We'll see.
We'll see.
Sam, do you have
Mhm.
any idea what we're going to be watching next week?
Well, I'm so glad that you asked. Yes, I do, especially because it's the holidays and I feel like everything's busy. You know, I'm not necessarily looking for new things to watch, and I really just want to go for creature comforts. You know, things that really just bring me joy. And I usually watch it every year anyway. It's always on a different day. But this year I want to talk about A Muppet Christmas Carol.
Cool. All right. All right, everyone. If for some reason you haven't already watched a Muppet Christmas Carol, you got a week to watch a Muppet Christmas Carol because that's what we're talking about next week.
And make sure you watch the extended, the director's version, because
Where's
we'll
that?
talk
Is that
about that
on Disney Plus? Is that?
Yes,
I imagine that's the only place you can watch it online.
Yeah. The only place you can watch it online. So if you're watching it online, maybe you can like rent it off of Prime if you absolutely need to. If you're renting it, if you're streaming it, make sure you find the director's version. If you're on Disney Plus, the director version is under the bonus features tab when you click the movie. So go to the regular Christmas Carol, go to bonus features, you'll find the extended version there. So you got a week to experience pure joy and goodness and happiness.
Cool. Yep. All right, everyone. I'd say if you have any questions or have anything to say about it, let us know. I mean, that means you got a few days to shoot us an email at lostlegaciespodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
I hope that's right.
I hope that's right.
The other Lost Legacies podcast is going to get your email. Send us the questions. or comments, whatever you want, if you have anything to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
Until then, find us on all social medias, hashtag Lost Legacies. We're out there. This is kind of the beginning of more movies. We're going to be talking about a lot of movies going forward on this
Yes.
show. So check us out at YouTube at the Hidden City Book Co. On YouTube. We already
Mm-hmm.
got a plethora of films in
Mm-hmm.
our
Mm-hmm.
archive, as well as a lot of shows as well. So go check it out. Until next time, I feel like saying "get lost" is not a holiday appropriate. Until next time, get swapped.
Get sister swapped.